Making headlines this hour. The government signs an investment agreement with Crystal Holdings Private Limited for the development of the Ayla Sustainable Township project, the first under the Special Economic Zone framework. Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim announces that around 170 infrastructure development projects are currently in progress across the country. And according to the latest economic update from the Monetary Authority of Maldives, the Maldives saw a 9% year-on-year increase in total exports in November 2025. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz designates Project Ayla as a Special Economic Zone or SEZ through a presidential decree, paving the way for the development of a sustainable township. The move follows provisions set out in the First Amendment to the Social Economic Zone Act, which came into force on the 10th of November 2025. The Presidential Decree number 1/2025, published in the Government Gazette on the 12th of January 2025. These measures prescribe the minimum investment threshold required for sustainable townships to qualify as SEZs. Under Section 29H of the Act, the decree was issued after an investment agreement was signed between Crystal Holdings Private Limited and the Board of Investment earlier today. The approved development will include high-end residential real estate, an advanced healthcare facility, a globally recognized school of hospitality and leadership, and an ultra-luxury resort featuring a hotel and marina. Plans also provide for self-sufficient energy and waste management systems powered by at least 60% renewable energy, alongside integrated aquaculture and agriculture initiatives. Additional infrastructure will be developed to support high-net-worth residents, employees, and their families. An annex to the decree published in the Gazette outlines the boundaries of the Project Ayla SEZ and details the incentives available to businesses operating within the zone. In a landmark move to boost sustainable economic growth, the government signs an investment agreement with Crystal Holdings Private Limited for the development of the Ayla Sustainable Township project, the first under the Special Economic Zone or SEZ framework. A special signing ceremony was held at the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade, where Minister Mohammed Saeed represented the government and Peter Christic, CEO of Project Ayla representing Crystal Holdings, signed on behalf of the investor. Minister Saeed emphasized the transformative potential of the project, stating that it would elevate the national economy by creating new income opportunities for locals and attracting global investors. He highlighted that the township to be built in Shaviani Atoll would strengthen the tourism sector by generating employment, prioritizing environmental protection, and utilizing 60% renewable energy. Christic expressed gratitude for the government's investor-friendly policies, praising the Maldives as a reliable destination for foreign investment. The $790 million project, set for completion by 2028, will feature world-class sustainable infrastructure, positioning the Maldives as a pioneer in eco-conscious urban development in the Indian Ocean. This initiative marks a significant step in the nation's economic diversification and commitment to green growth. The Minister of Health, Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim, announces that around 170 infrastructure development projects are currently in progress across the country to enhance the quality and accessibility of healthcare services. Speaking at a ceremony marking the launch of new digital healthcare software systems, Minister Nazim emphasized that strengthening provincial healthcare is a key priority under President Dr. Mohammad Muizz's national agenda. Projects underway include the construction of 28 new hospitals, 24 modern health centers, upgrades to 14 regional hospitals, and the renovation of 97 existing health facilities. Additionally, regional hospitals are being prioritized for upgrade to tertiary care health facilities. In addition to infrastructure, the minister highlighted significant human resource expansion with over 1,700 new staff hired in the past 2 years, about 1,000 of them deployed to provincial health centers. To further streamline operations, the ministry launched 2 major software systems, the Help Desk Support Platform to improve service efficiency and the Medical Stock System to enable real-time digital monitoring of medical supplies. A human resource management system and a digital document sharing platform are also being rolled out nationwide. Minister Nazim credited the progress to the government's decentralized governance model, stating that systemic and cultural reforms are essential to delivering healthcare closer to the people. The software launch was co-officiated by the Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, Adam Sharif Umar, and attended by health center directors from across the country, underscoring a unified push toward a stronger, more responsive health system. Ministry of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure reveals over $58 million in housing loans has been approved for disbursement under the government's flagship Hiyabahi Housing Finance Scheme aimed at improving access to affordable housing across the Maldives. Launched as part of President Dr. Mohammad Muizz's key policy initiatives, the scheme supports citizens in constructing homes on private land through low-interest financing of 5% with a 25-year repayment period. Implemented in collaboration with the Housing Development Finance Corporation or HDFC, Bank of Maldives or BML, and Maldives Islamic Bank or MIB, the program includes 3 targeted schemes, one offering up to $64,850 for rural housing without requiring equity, another providing up to $194,552 for designated urban islands, and a third enabling loans of up to $389,105 for housing development in Male, particularly for small plots and unfinished constructions. In its first disbursement round, the scheme has already benefited 23 applicants. The initiative reinforces the constitutional guarantee of adequate housing and underscores the government's commitment to addressing housing challenges nationwide. Maldives National Defense Forces Welfare Company, also known by its acronym SIWEC, and the Ministry of Sports, Fitness and Recreation signed an agreement to develop sports infrastructure in 9 different regions throughout the Maldives. The agreement was signed by Minister of State for Sports, Fitness and Recreation Muhammad Dilshan Abdullah and SIWEC Managing Director Colonel Ahmad Zubair. Under this agreement, 2 projects which are set to be carried out in Alif Dal Atoll, namely the changing of the turf for the Femfushi futsal pitch and the creation of a handball court at Omadu. In addition to this, a futsal ground will be constructed in Kamadu, Ba Atoll and Fulidu, Vava Atoll, and a multi-purpose volley court and futsal pitch will be built in Darambudu, Fafa Atoll. Also, fence repairs will be carried out for Kandukuludu, Gaf Alif Atoll. Also, a swimming track built for Diddu, Ha Alif, and a football ground created for Makunudu, Ha Dal, and Veva in Mim Atoll. Furthermore, a lighting system will be set up for the football ground in Nellaidu, Ha Dal. 9 projects have been signed for Noon Atoll, the creation of a multi-purpose ground for handball and futsal in Holodu, Lohi, and Velidu, a futsal pitch in Kandikuludu, a football ground in Magudu, outdoor volleyball court in Manadu and Lohi, as well as a fixed lighting system for Lohi and Miladu football grounds. The development of the Maldives sports sector remains a top priority of the government, displayed by the many initiatives to construct sports infrastructure assigned to different companies. According to the latest economic update from the Monetary Authority of Maldives, the Maldives saw a 9% year-on-year increase in total exports in November 2025. The rise was primarily fueled by a significant boost in re-exports, particularly in the other re-export category, and re-exports of jet fuel for ships and aircraft. Domestic exports also grew during the month, led by higher revenues from canned and pouched seafood, a key component of the country's export portfolio. From January to November 2025, total exports rose 15% compared to the same period in 2024, despite a more modest overall trend in import growth for the year. In contrast, total imports surged 30% during the period, driven by higher spending on petroleum products, machinery, transport equipment, construction materials, and food items. The MMA report highlights the growing role of re-export activities in supporting external trade, even as the nation continues to promote its domestic goods, especially fish products, in global markets. The government amends the dress code for civil service employees following public complaints that attire in government offices had fallen below expected social standards. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz announced the decision during a community meeting with residents of Hulumale Phase 1, citing the need to restore the previous dress standards that were altered in 2014. The Civil Service Commission, or CSC, has now issued an updated dress code reinforcing formal attire for employees. Under the new rules, male civil servants must wear office-appropriate shirts, trousers, ties, and office shoes with shirts neatly tucked in. Jewelry is restricted to a single ring. Female employees are required to wear long dresses, Maldivian traditional attire, or formal office wear. Additionally, all staff are barred from denying their hair any vibrant color other than black. The updated policy also provides detailed guidelines for support service employees. The 2014 dress code had emphasized cleanliness and appropriateness, but was seen as too lenient. The latest amendment aims to uphold professionalism and align with societal expectations, ensuring employees present themselves in a manner befitting their roles. The revised dress code is designed to reinforce dignity and efficiency in public service. Maldives Transport and Contracting Company, or MTCC, says it has completed half of the drainage works under the Malay North Side Bodotakorfan Road Development Project. In a post on social media, the state-owned contractor said sheet piling is continuing while curbstone installation has begun along the upgraded pedestrian lane. Work is also underway to install new wastewater and water supply lines. The project, which began on the 9th of December, is intended to modernize the busy Malay City Market area, encompassing the fish market, local market, tourist market, and port. The area is frequently congested due to high pedestrian and vehicle traffic. To address these issues, the road is being widened by 6 meters and converted into a two-way street. According to MTCC, the development aims to improve pedestrian access, ease traffic congestion, address persistent flooding caused by drainage problems, and enhance accessibility for residents, cargo vehicles, and vessels. The construction covers a 250-meter section from the local market area to the North Harbor, forming part of a wider 1,088-meter stretch running from the Henveru ferry terminal to the North Harbor. Phase 1, covering 140 meters, has been completed, while work on Phase 2 is ongoing. MTCC said it expects the second phase to be completed and the road open to the public ahead of Ramlan. Swipe, a multi-currency digital wallet by Bank of Maldives, or BML, undergoes beta testing with businesses set to register on this platform by January 2026.
With the platform unveiled in October 2025, this beta testing stage is targeted at streamlining the service before Swipe is officially open to the public. Swipe enables fast, secure transactions, offering contactless QR payments, multi-currency transfers, and instant fund deposits via global debit or credit cards both in the Maldives and abroad. The app also provides spending analytics, catering to businesses by streamlining cash flow management. BML CEO and Managing Director Mohammed Sharif stated that the bank is working on inaugurating payment services and international transfers by January 2026. He said that Swipe will be expanding its services by partnering with noteworthy payment networks overseas in the first quarter, expanding its reach to the global market. Swipe aims to become an important tool for tourists, Maldivians abroad, and international business, while also being equipped with modern safety features and following both local and international guidelines. VML is committed to modernizing digital payments, allowing Maldives to progress in the global fintech sphere.
The Maldives Culture and Food Festival commences to celebrate the achievements of the tourism industry this year and to welcome the new year. The festival is organized by the Visit Maldives Corporation, the Ministry of Tourism and Environment, and the Housing Development Corporation, or HDC. The festival, which runs from the 30th of December until the 1st of January, will feature a range of activities. Food stalls offer a variety of dishes for food lovers, while activities for children of all ages are also available. Similar to last year, a special drone show is scheduled to be held this year as well. The festival will also feature fireworks and performances showcasing the Maldives' rich culture. Insights into world business. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq closed a little changed in choppy trading as gains in communication services stocks were offset by declines in technology and financial stocks, with financials also weighing on the Dow. Communication services shares were among the biggest gainers on the S&P 500, fueled by a rise in Meta Platforms. The technology company said it would acquire Chinese-founded artificial intelligence startup Manus, accelerating efforts to integrate advanced AI across its platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. Information technology stocks were range-bound, with Apple and Nvidia subdued while Microsoft inched up. On Monday, these heavyweight stocks snapped a six-session winning streak, their longest since September. Last week, the rally had also propelled the S&P 500 to a record high. Trading volumes remained thin in the holiday transated week, which analysts expect could heighten market volatility. Losses in Goldman Sachs and American Express weighed on the Dow.
Yeah, so here we are, just, really one trading session left in the year, and markets are really flat. We did set that new all-time high just before Christmas, but since then, we've really seen a sideways type of trend, even a slightly negative. Today is an indicative of that, as we started slightly higher on the indexes and we've pulled back as the day has gone on. I think there's a couple things in motion at the same time.
Citigroup fell a day after it announced its board approved the sale of its Russian unit, AO Citibank, to Renaissance Capital. The deal will lead to a pre-tax loss of about $1.2 billion, largely related to currency translation. The S&P 500 lost 9.50 points to end at 6,896.24 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 55.27 points to 23,419.08. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 94.84 points to 48,367.06. The S&P 500 and the Dow are set for their 8th consecutive month of gains, their longest monthly winning streak since 2017. Update on international events. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said in his first New Year's address that Europe must assert its interests more strongly to ensure peace and prosperity in 2026 amid challenges from Russian aggression, global protectionism, and changing ties with the U.S. Merz pulled no punches in his speech, saying the terrible war raging on Europe's doorstep posed a direct threat to continental freedom and security. He said a further challenge came from protectionism in the global economy and that Europe's dependence on imported raw materials was increasingly being wielded as a political lever against it. Since taking office in May, Merz has helped spearhead European efforts to support Ukraine against Russia's invasion. Berlin has also ramped up defense spending since 2023 in a bid to show it is ready to assume more responsibility. Cambodians welcomes 18 soldiers home after Thailand released them under a renewed ceasefire agreed by the two countries at the weekend, authorities from both countries said, easing tensions after weeks of deadly border clashes. As part of Saturday's deal to halt the fighting, Thailand agreed to release the 18 soldiers in its custody if the ceasefire held for 72 hours. However, the handover was delayed by 1 day after Thailand made allegations of ceasefire violations by Cambodia, which Cambodia denied. A convoy of buses brought the soldiers out of Phnom Penh's old airport as crowds gathered by the roadside to cheer and display Cambodian flags. A 72-year-old village chief from the capital, Chahum Choon, urged for a lasting peace between the two neighboring countries. Thousands gathered at Dhaka's Manik Mia Avenue to attend the funeral prayer for Bangladesh's first female Prime Minister, Khalida Zia. Her doctor said Khalida passed away at the age of 80 after a prolonged illness. She had advanced cirrhosis of the liver, arthritis, diabetes, chest and heart problems. Her son and acting chairman of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or BNP, Tariq Rahman, attended the funeral prayer with Nobel Peace Laureate and microfinance pioneer Muhammad Yunus. Since August 2024, after a student-led uprising led to the ouster of Khalida's bitter rival, Hasina, Bangladesh has been run by an interim government headed by Yunus. Though Khalida had been out of power since 2006 and had spent several years in jail or under house arrest, she and her center-right BNP continued to command much support. The BNP is seen as the frontrunner to win the parliamentary election slated to take place in February. Khalida was buried next to her husband and former presidents Ziaur Rahman at Zia Udyan. Taking a look at sports, Jian Lin becomes the first woman to skipper the overall winner of the Sydney to Hobart yacht race after her double-handed entry, Min River, was promoted to first place following a protest.
Lin and co-skipper Alexis Lozon seized victory when race officials penalized French boat BNC for a sail breach, stripping it of top spot and handing Min River the handicap honors at the 80th edition of the race. The New Caledonian-flagged BNC, skippered by Michel Quintin and Jan Rigol, had appeared set for the overall win before the race committee imposed a penalty of 1 hour and 5 minutes following a successful protest.
We never even think about we're going to win overall because it seemed to me too far reach for our little boat, think about all those other boats, all very good sailors and performers.
The triumph marked a double milestone, the first female skippered yacht and the first double-handed entry to win the race's overall title. Master Loch Comanche took line honors in the Sydney to Hobart race after pulling clear of a three-way tussle with Supermax's Loch Connect and HSK Scallywag 100.
Concluding with more lighter news, falconry, the raising and training of falcons for hunting, was once a desert survival skill for Arab nomads and remains a prized tradition across the Gulf.
Saudi Arabia's King Abdul Aziz Falconry Festival, organized by the Saudi Falcon Club, centers on two marquee competitions, the Al Malua Lure Race and the Mazayin Falcon Beauty Contest, with total prizes of up to $10.1 million. The festival features 139 rounds across 6 categories, including classes for young and mature birds. Falconers and enthusiasts have gathered over 17 days to celebrate the sport and revive a deep-rooted heritage. According to the regular participant of the festival, after decades of participation, some regulars are now able to identify the bloodline of the falcon by its flight. The festival runs until 11th January.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.